You know that feeling when you check your bank account and you just close the app immediately, like you didn't even want to know? You just saw the number and thought, yeah, okay, not today. I used to do that all the time. And the weird part? I wasn't even spending recklessly. I was just existing. Rent, groceries, gas, phone bill, the basics. And somehow, by the middle of the month, I'd already be counting days until payday like I was waiting for some kind of rescue mission. And I kept thinking, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I'm working. I'm not buying crazy stuff. So why does it feel like I'm always behind? If that sounds familiar, this video might actually shift something for you. Here's the thing most people don't talk about. Being broke isn't always about what you're doing wrong. A lot of the time, it's about what you were never taught in the first place. Nobody sat us down and said, hey, here's how money actually moves. Here's why you feel anxious about it. Here's why it disappears even when you're trying to be careful. We just got thrown into adulthood with a checking account and a vague idea that we should save more and spend less. Which, thanks, super helpful. But here's what I realized. Being broke is less about income than it is about cash flow. And I know that sounds like some finance bro term, but stay with me, because this is where it clicks. You can make decent money and still feel broke. You can make good money and still feel like you're one emergency away from disaster, because it's not just about how much comes in. It's about how much stays, how it moves, and whether you're even paying attention to it. Let me explain it like this. Most people treat money like water flowing through their hands. It comes in on payday, and then it just leaks out. Subscriptions you forgot about. Eating out because you're too tired to cook. That, I deserve this purchase after a long week. And none of those things are evil or wrong, but they add up in ways that are invisible until you're suddenly confused about where everything went. The psychology here is real. We're wired to prioritize immediate comfort over future stability. That's not laziness. That's just being human. Your brain doesn't want to think about 6 months from now when you're stressed right now. But here's the shift. If you can create a system where your money has a job before it hits your account, you stop feeling like you're fighting yourself all the time. And I'm not talking about some extreme budget where you eat rice and beans for a year. I'm talking about giving yourself permission to spend, but only after you've handled the stuff that actually matters. Here's what that looks like in real life. Let's say you make $3,000 a month after taxes. Most people see that number and think, okay, cool, I have $3,000. But that's not true. You don't. Because rent's already taking $1,200. Your car payment and insurance, another $400. Groceries, gas, phone bill. You're down to maybe $1,000 before you've even lived. So the first step is being honest about what's already spoken for. Write it down, not in your head. Actually write it. Because when you see it on paper, you stop lying to yourself about how much flexibility you actually have. Now here's where people mess up. They take that leftover $1,000 and just spend it on whatever. No plan. No structure. And by the time the next bill cycle hits, they're back to zero. Or worse, they're in overdraft. Instead, what if you treated that $1,000 like it had assignments? $200 goes into an account you don't touch. That's your life happens fund. Because life will happen. Your car will break down. Your laptop will die. Your dog will eat something expensive and stupid. And when that happens, you don't want to be choosing between paying rent or fixing the problem. Another $100 goes towards something that matters to you. Maybe that's paying off a credit card. Maybe it's saving for a trip. Maybe it's just building a cushion so you stop living paycheck to paycheck. The point is, it has a purpose. The rest? That's yours. Spend it. Enjoy it. Go out with friends. Buy the coffee. Get the thing you've been wanting. Because depriving yourself completely doesn't work. You'll just snap and blow everything later. Here's the part that changed everything for me. I used to think being good with money meant saying no to everything. Like, if I wasn't suffering, I wasn't doing it right. And that mindset kept me broke and miserable. But the truth is, being smart with money isn't about restriction. It's about awareness. It's about knowing where your money goes and deciding if that aligns with what you actually care about. Because when you're stressed about money, you make worse decisions. You buy things to feel better. You avoid looking at your account because it makes you anxious. You stay in jobs you hate because you're too scared to take a risk. You end up trapped in the cycle where being broke isn't just financial. It's emotional. But when you have even a small buffer, when you know you're not one mistake away from catastrophe, everything shifts. You think clearer. You sleep better. You stop operating from a place of fear. And that's when you actually start building something. So, if you're serious about not being broke in 2026, here's what you do. First, Track your spending for 1 month, not to judge yourself, just to see. Most people are shocked when they realize how much they spend on things they don't even enjoy. Second, automate the important stuff. Set up a transfer so that money moves into savings before you have a chance to spend it. Even if it's $20, even if it feels small. The habit matters more than the amount. Third, give yourself one thing to work toward, not 10 things. 1. Maybe it's saving $500. Maybe it's paying off one credit card. Pick something that would make you feel less anxious and focus on that. And fourth, be patient with yourself. You're not going to fix everything overnight. You're going to mess up. You're going to have a bad month. That's fine. Progress isn't perfection. It's just doing a little better than you did before. Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that managing money solves all your problems. It doesn't. Life is still hard. Work is still stressful. The world is still expensive. But here's what I know. Being broke is exhausting. And you don't have to stay there. You're not broken. You're not bad with money. You just never got the manual. And now you're writing it yourself. So take a breath. Start small. And remember, you're not trying to be perfect. You're just trying to be a little less stressed. A little more in control. A little more free. And that's worth it.